This was my month in April, so obviously
3 million crowns, 280,000 euros in revenue.
yeah, the fear of failing, and I see that with a lot of people that is actually a thing that sometimes play into mind, which puts doubt in you, right? And if you put doubt in and get fear, then you make wrong decisions. And although ecom has a lot of opportunities, it's also quite fluctuating. So I felt like I need to have a bit more structure in the back end, and I can actually upgrade yourself.
All right, Jordi, what's up, man?
Doing well on yourself, man.
I'm doing fine as well. I felt like we really need to do an catch up, a follow up again, because the last time we did an interview together, I think it's been like a year ago. So a year from now, I think a lot of stuff happened. Last month you did over 5,000 orders, which is insane, and I would like to discuss like a bit how the journey for you went and like your experiences, where you're currently at. So I'm super excited for today, man.
Yeah, cool, man. No, happy to chat to you again. Awesome.
Yeah. Do you remember the last time when we had the interview? You were you were either in the Netherlands or you were in Africa back then, because you did some work there, right?
Yeah. So I came back probably like last year, January. I was back starting with ecom, and I think we had our first like interview, and probably like in April or so. And then
Yeah.
I had my next trip to Africa lined up. So that's when we spoke first. So and then things were running smoothly for me, like as a beginner. But obviously
Yeah.
I progressed from that moment on and made some improvements, and actually joined the red belt community now, so which is very exciting. So I was started obviously as the blue belt, and now I'm red belt. So to get a little more focus on the business, the back end, improve the back end a little bit better, and just get an overall structure in the business a bit improved. So yeah, man, we done since that moment we progressed and did good.
Went all super fast. So if you're watching this and maybe you don't know what like blue belt, red belt is, so in business belts we work like in different belts, different levels. So when you join the blue belt level, where you come in as a complete beginner or someone already have some ecom experience but not really be active like the past month. So then you basically start from zero. And once you have done consistent like volume and you've done over 100K in revenue, then you're also able to upgrade to red belts, where we focus more on like back ends and also front ends in marketing, and just to make sure that we can increase order volume. And last month you did 5,000 orders, so I think that's already been working quite well so far. But yeah, we can dive into that soon.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. It's been good. Like, like it's good that you explain it a little bit to the audience, of course. But like the red belt has been definitely an improvement in regards to scaling. Like where you start with the blue belts, like when you're starting out, everything is new, so it's an amazing introduction into the program. But yeah, like at some point you come to a level where you feel like, okay, well, it's time to move on, and then. It's amazing that you guys have a program in place for that, so that you can actually take the next step, and that you don't take the next step into the dark. No, you can actually take the next step with guidance again, but just on a skilled level. So that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah. So you said something interesting, because you said you feel like you're stuck at a level and you can't really go further. Like, what is that level? Like how much money were you then already making on average on a monthly or maybe daily basis in profits? What are we looking at?
So I think like it's fluctuated in the beginning, right? Like you're in a journey. So I feel like the first year was trial and error with the guidance from the blue belt community. So when I was running then, I was slightly inconsistent, but I was still running, let's say between 5K, so 5,000 euros, to maybe like my best month during that time was probably 18K profit. So still good numbers, but I still felt
already,
yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, that was my best month, and I upskilled everything, but the back end was not necessarily in order. So I think the next month I ran only like 6K profit, and I think the month after that I was almost break even. So it comes and goes, right? But that's why also it's another reason why I joined the red belt community, because I just want to have more consistency in my business. So I felt like it's not a marker in regards to money, but it's in regards to knowledge. Like eventually you just scale. You get a lot of orders, and you try to scale your team. But I think like if you like, I've been in a management position before, but like running your own company is it's a different perspective. So, and what aspects can you improve yourself on, and what aspects can you get new people on board to lower the load on yourself. And I think that's what is helping me at the moment with Red Belt. Is really a key thing for me, because that's why I'm struggling with, because I'm a massive control freak and I want to keep everything under control, but you can't do everything yourself. So I feel like that is the next step for me to really improve my business. So I wouldn't say like you can really define it by money making, but more like just overall, like how many stores you have, how many businesses you run at the same time, and like overall work. It's more defined by workload, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good explanation. Thanks for that. Because I can imagine when someone hears like, bro, you make 5,000 euros profit a month, that was like the lowest, and then some months you had 18,000, and then another month you had like 6 or 7,000. Someone that is new to e-com or never started with it, they're like, man, why would you even like upgrade? Like you already make money. But then it's nice how you break it down, that it then comes more down to like backends and just knowledge and being able to run more consistent on those numbers, right?
Yeah, because you want to run a smooth operation, right? Like you don't want to be like stuck with the hassle of like customer issues or whatever the case may be. You want everything structured so that you have peace of mind and can actually upgrade yourself. Yeah, I think that's the main goal for me, and also being able to work remotely. I want to just have everything stable in that way, so that I can improve myself, improve the business, make more trips to Africa, and overall be more consistent. I think consistency is key with everything.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, maybe you could show some numbers of what you have been doing. Like, for example, in the month of April, I said over 5,000 orders. It will be nice to share that on screen. We dive into the numbers, and then afterwards we will do a bit more, just talking of like how you were able to do these numbers and how that feels for you. Because like last year you were still like working a 9 to 5, right? Like you're a year later, you process so much orders. That must be insane.
Yeah, like obviously my situation was like I was a guide, of course. I was guiding in Africa, so I worked corporate, but then on the next level. I mean, like people are complaining here about a 9 to 5. I was working 16 hours a day, so that was hectic. But so this was my month in April. So obviously very steady.
Wow. So wait, that is Norwegian krones, I think.
Yeah, correct.
It's like 3 million krones.
Yeah.
That's like 280,000 euros in revenue.
Yeah, revenue. Yeah, make that clear though. If it was profit, I would retire.
And like how much profit did you make out of that in terms of percentages? Do you have an idea?
Yeah. It's about a 25% profit margin.
Wow, that's 70,000 euros profit.
Yeah, it was a little bit less than 70. I would say like 60, let's say 62, yeah.
Wow, 62,000 euros profit in a month. And then that is gross profit. I think there still needs to be team costs and stuff deducted, or that is already
Yeah, this is basically just like ads, what do you say it? The transaction fees, cost of goods, and advertisements running, and then obviously like salary and subscriptions that will be deducted from there. So, but it was around 10K. So let's say I made like let's say around 50K like net.
Like 50,000 like net minus all your costs.
Yeah, so that was good. Wow. It was a good month.
Super insane.
Very grateful. Let's make that clear.
Yeah. I mean, you work hard for that as well, right? Because I see what you're doing. I see how hard you go for this and how consistent you actually are. And then the month before that, so if you do like March and April, so what was the difference? Like, how were you able to scale there?
Let me check. I'm actually.
Okay.
Still good numbers. But obviously I came out of Chinese New Year there, so I was like upscaling from that moment on. So I feel like if you take probably the last 2 weeks, that's probably the most significant section of the month. Yeah, there you go. The majority of the month. So I was just trying to, I wanted also not to scale so super hard in the beginning, because I felt like I wanted to have my backend a little bit more in order for the amount that I potentially want to make myself. I always think about like, okay, what's going to be, how's going to next month's going to be looking, or like in the next 2 months. Like if I scale to the roof now, my backend is not in order. Yeah, then I'm going to be you're going to be in trouble. So I first focused on that, outsourced the majority of the things that I didn't want to do anymore, and that really helped me to this level. And now again, like I mentioned with Red Belt, I'm at the stage again where I'm like, oh mine, I'm quite full again. Like I'm stuffed with work, so it's time to outsource again. So I'm every time I feel like you come to this point, then it's time to progress in that way too.
Yeah. So the month March in total, because this is the last 2 weeks, can you show it one more time? Because
Yeah,
from
sure,
the
no worries.
so that was still in March. You did around yeah. How much is this? Like 170,000 euros, I think.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
175,000 euros. So
yeah.
that was literally like plus the other 300. Like you did super insane. Like almost 450,000 euros in 2 months.
Yeah, crazy, man. Like if you say, I didn't even think about it that way. Like I don't try to look forward, but if you look back at it, yes, that's pretty insane. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
grateful.
3,000 orders, and then can you do March till until the end of April? Because then you can see, I think it was like a total
Yes,
of
quite
like
significant.
yeah, so like 8,000 orders in 2 months.
Yeah,
Super.
that's wild, man.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Shopify to give me my, you know, what they call it, like my medal, or like they have this 10,000 order thing, right? I didn't receive it.
450,000 euros revenue within, yeah, how much profits? 25%? What you said? Something
Yeah,
like that.
let's say 20 just to make it because March was a slightly different, but yeah, let's say 20% overall.
Yeah, super insane, man. It was like 90,000 euros. Okay. Wow,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Good
Thanks
stuff.
for sharing that, man. You can stop sharing your screen. So if
Yeah, no
you
worries.
if you now look at this, like we break it down, like you go to like almost yeah 450,000 euros with 90,000 euros profit in 2 months,
Yeah.
and like a year ago you started with this, right? Like
Yeah.
you didn't make any. I mean, you made maybe 5,000 euros profit in a month at the beginning, and now you're here. Like if you look back at it, would you ever imagine that now at this stage you would have done those numbers already?
Well, like I'm not gonna lie, like obviously you have like I'm quite harsh on myself, so I felt like okay, this needs to be the goal. So I had the goal, but obviously if you're gonna make it, then that's something different, right? But I just try to be as consistent as possible, and I don't want to. I apply a lot of pressure on myself, but at the same time, I'm not the guy who says like okay, if I don't reach that, then I'm gonna hate myself. I just feel like as long as I can show myself that I'm putting in the work on a day-to-day business, then I can at least look myself in the mirror and say, okay, well, you've done everything impossible to make things happen, If I weren't able to do that, then of course, then I'm gonna hold myself accountable. But that's not the case. I work my ass off every day, being simple and plain straightforward. So I just feel grateful that it's possible, and it's definitely for sure possible in ecom. That's why I choose the business also, So remote work, endless possibilities in regards to scaling opportunities, and it gives you freedom.
So what daily actions do you believe is eventually resulting in these type of numbers? Like what is
I think it has to. Yeah, I think it's to do with mindset, eh? Like what I see from people also around me, like I felt like there's always this doubt that there's okay. Well, what is a good example? Like, well, if you think that there's a potential outcome that it's not going to be favorable for you, like then you already put that percentage of doubt in yourself, right? I don't have that doubt. If there's a setback, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm going to be upset, and maybe I have a sleepless night over it. But I'm like, okay, well, let's go, man. Like there's no, you shouldn't look back at that, like and take that into consideration. The fear of failing. I mean, I feel like that's not even a thought in my brain, and I see that with a lot of people that is actually a thing that sometimes play into mind, which puts doubt in you, right? And if you put doubt, then you get fear, and then you make wrong decisions, and you doubt yourself. There's no doubt here.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Do you also feel that like people that you're talking to in business belts that are running similar levels, they all have the same type of mindset or approach that like, yo, this is just like there's no second way, this is just plan A and this is just it? Or?
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm chatting to like obviously the community is quite big now because you've been good with your marketing, Thomas. We see some good new people coming into the community. But it's,
that is also the point. Like the community grows because also you guys like interviews like this. It's just a fact. You guys help us a lot because it just helps for people to actually see like, wow, this is actually real. Because I can really imagine that someone that watches this and they're like, yeah, they're just sharing a screen and like all these numbers are fake, and like, yeah, I would think probably the same if I'm stuck in a job and make 2,000 or 3,000 euros a month, which is fine with all the respect, that this is all scam. Because sometimes it sounds too good to be true, but what we do is actually too good to be true.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's good stuff. So, but like, yeah, but there's a lot of online gurus who pretend to know everything, and in that way, yeah, try to lure you in. But I feel like the community is strong. Like I was saying, like I have a couple of people who I'm into contact with on a daily to well, not daily to day business, but let's say on a weekly basis, and we keep chatting with each other, and it's valuable, you know. Like in that way, you find your own little community in the community itself with like people who have the same mindset. So like, I don't know, like you have your 2 or 3 bad motherfuckers, if I may say it like that, and you know you just attack. That's how I feel about it. And
Yeah.
and you talk with them, you know, like you have the same vibe. Like you chat with each other, you exchange knowledge, and on the level that you are in. So like the overall community is there to help you, but then you have your people, also your close people around you that you can really, you know, scale together. Although you have obviously different businesses, but like you're in the same situation, different countries, different companies. It's cool, man. It's amazing. It's very fulfilling.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so because e-commerce can be a lonely business, right? Because you always work behind your laptop, but then you actually have the people around you, even though it's online, you still have kind of group of people where you can talk to sometimes.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like it is a thing though. Like that it can be quite lonely because you don't have the office vibe. So I can imagine that for some people it can be a bit of internal conflict. For me, I don't really perceive it that way because I don't have somebody complaining over what I should do. I hate when people say, "No, you should do this." No, I'm gonna decide for myself what I'm gonna do. So for me, it works on a personal level. But yeah, I can imagine like if you're stuck. If you're stuck at home the whole time doing e-com, I can imagine that some people feel a bit lonely in that way. But I mean,
Yeah.
like this, the community helps, and you're
Yeah.
chatting with people still. So yeah,
Yeah, great. And now you're again on a one-on-one program. So
yeah,
that is interesting, right? Like you make like 450,000 revenue in 2 months, and then you still decide to jump on the next level in terms of coaching. I think it says a lot about you as a person as well, because there will be people that think like, oh, I make this money now, I'm at the top already, I don't need any additional coaching. But I think you see it from a complete different point of view. What was the main reason for you that you thought like, yeah, now I need to do this? You said like I was reaching like a ceiling, or like what was for you actually that you thought like, yeah man, I need to do this?
well, it's a mixture of a couple things. I think, yeah, like I said, like you said, like they're reaching the ceiling in regards to my knowledge level. So I don't feel like I'm knowledgeable enough to make this a continuous, you know, win for me. Like how it was fluctuating in the beginning, I don't want that anymore. I want like steadiness in that way. So I felt like, okay, well, the best thing to do that is invest in the Red Belt program, so that I can build a bit more consistency in the business. Because although ecom has a lot of opportunities, it's also quite fluctuating. So I felt like I need to have a bit more structure in the back end and how I plan every minute of my day in regards to the business. So I can be a bit more, well, scalable myself too, and like with my freedom and things like that. So that was a pain point there. Like if we talk about ecom, how do you say it? Well, how do you perceive it? Yeah, exactly. So like I had a pain point, and I wanted to remove that pain point. So so that was the main thing for me. But also knowledge. Like I'm not as knowledgeable yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I feel like there's so many other people in the Business Belts team. So in the Red Belt community that I can still learn a lot from. I think it's very egocentric if I say no. I got this sorted and I can make it on my own. I feel like there's always a continuous progress, right? Like also the market changes and there's new opportunities. And I felt like I still had a lot to learn. So I felt let me give myself a humble approach and just try to, even if it didn't work out, but it's so far so good. I've had 2 calls, so it's still in the beginning, but yeah, like it's fulfilling in that way too, because you invest in yourself. I think it's always good to invest in yourself.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I like that mindset because I will be the same. Like I also tell like people in Business Belts after like I learned from you guys as well. It's not because like we are on top of the community that we know the most and that we can't learn from you guys, or that we've been active for a long time. That's absolute nonsense. Like as long as you're open-minded for those things, it's actually great, man. Yeah. And someone watching this can be both levels. Maybe someone complete beginner willing to maybe start with ecom but don't know if they would do it. What would you recommend?
Well, like I would definitely recommend it. But you also like you need to be honest. Like you have to have the mindset. You need to put it in dedication. Like these numbers all sounds great, but it comes from a lot of hard work, you know. So that's also a message you want to get across. Like
Sure.
if you half-ass it, then you're not gonna make it. Like these numbers are amazing, but you have to put in the work. Like if you feel like this is gonna be I was gonna do some e-com, you know, it's gonna work out great for me. Then you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot. But it's definitely like if you're dedicated, you're disciplined, and you want to make things happen, and you want to have a community and surrounded by people who have the same mindset. Then I feel like the Business Belt program is the way to go forward if you want to create some independence and some freedom for yourself. 100%.
Yeah. So no doubts that or like, how do you say that? I don't know how to put it in the right words in English. Like, you don't regret joining e-commerce.
Oh man, no, definitely not. No. Like definitely not. If that point came across like that, definitely not. No. I'm just trying to say like it's amazing, but you need to put in the work. That's my point.
Yeah, exactly.
And Business Belts provide that platform, you know, that background, like that stepping stone for everybody who's keen.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah, but you still need to do it yourself, and I also like that you mentioned it because, you know, things sounds too good to be true when you look at these numbers, but it doesn't sound too good to be true anymore when someone really knows what you sacrifice for those numbers. And I think that is a big difference, and that's also the transparency that is a bit missing in the market, where not as everyone is as transparent as, you know, they should be.
No, exactly, but that's what I like about you guys too. You know, like you just stay to the point, and if somebody is slacking, you hold them accountable. Like I felt like that. That's why your reviews on Google are so amazing too. You know, like because you're straightforward, you're honest. Like, and that's an approach that needs to be appreciated if you start running a business. You know, you need to hold yourself accountable, and if you don't do that, then Business Belts will do it for you, which is great. You know, that's
like sometimes we hold people accountable, but then they're slacking, and then we're also like, hey, this is just not going to work out, right? Yeah. I think it's also just what I personally like a lot about our community is that there's the average age for e-com is already a bit higher. So you would say like you're looking at end 20s, maybe even begin 30s. And now that does not mean that someone who's begin 20s can't do the biggest numbers, because there's guys begin 20s doing maybe one of the biggest numbers in the community, but it's more of like the type of people that you attract is also people that worked in corporate companies, had serious jobs, had already serious responsibilities, maybe even have already families. You're just vibing with different type of people and understand that nothing just comes by just 1 or 2 hours of work. They actually understand how life also works, and that is really an additional value to the community. There's no just much people in the community that are there for the quick money. There's people that want to build something long term, and they do understand that it requires a lot of work, and that you can't just, you know, get this just all done within, you know, just a matter of a month or two. And that is what I personally like a lot about Business Belts, you know.
No, 100%, man. I think you guys done it right.
Perfect. Okay, sounds good. Then I appreciate that you're. What is your next goal, by the way? That is one nice thing to end with.
Time management, like that's a new goal. Like I don't want to talk about I feel like the numbers that I'm doing now, if I can be consistent with that, it will be amazing. I think it's just overall piece of my day to day. Yeah, I can restructure that a little bit so I can enjoy the cash flow a little bit more than I'm doing at the moment. That's my goal. Like really get my flexibility, because e-com gives you flexibility. I should now like work in a way that I can actually enjoy that flexibility a little bit more. Also with my trips to Africa coming up and things like that. So backend. That's the focus for me now. And then skill, of course. Backend.
Backend is key, but you will be able to do that also now on the red belts. When you're going to Africa?
I'm going in August. Yeah.
Nice, man. The goal is go to Africa in August, running the minimum same amount of numbers and profits while working less in the business.
100%. Yeah. Outsource.
All right, Jordi. Thanks for this interview. It has really been really helpful. I hope that the people like and watching this. See you guys on the next one. Have a nice day.
Cheers, guys.